who is tracking Hurricane Laura for us at this point. And boy, we're really going to be watching over the next 24 hours, Frank.
Yeah, I'm waiting for two things. The new American model, it's just coming in. I mean, like one frame. Oh, right. So we're just getting that in. And then, of course, the updated track, which will come in during our 6 o'clock news. So let's talk about this. By the way, it was 98 degrees today. That would probably be the main weather story if we didn't have a hurricane, but we do. 96 at Hobby, 95 in Galveston. Triangle Energy cameras at 96. Northeast winds at 16, thanks to Marco. There's Galveston sunshine today, 93. North wind at 13 at the surface. So 80-mile-an-hour winds. This is a Category 1 storm. This is the 4 p.m. advisory. You can see the west-northwest at 17 is the motion here. And I've got it right where it says, and tracking that, takes it off to the northwest, continues at northwest, builds it up to a 2, 110-mile-an-hour winds. And then when it's about a couple hundred miles off the coast of Texas, it starts to make this turn, Category 3 into Sabine Pass with 115-mile-an-hour winds. Shreveport still sees a 75-mile-an-hour Cat 1 hurricane, and then it begins to diminish over Arkansas going into the mid-Atlantic around this high-pressure system. So look at the difference. A 75-mile-an-hour wind, that's our baseline. You look at 115, that's 30 times the damage of a 75-mile-an-hour wind. This wind force is exponential. If you look at 125-mile-an-hour wind, taking it just a little higher, you're at 60 times the damage of a 75-mile-an-hour wind. So it can be significant, and that's why we got to watch the winds for sure. They're going to continue to build our way, pushing water in our direction, and we always have to watch for a north wind blocking the island's drainage system and causing water to actually go back up into Galveston Island. That can always be problematic. So we'll keep an eye on that. Warnings for storm surge. You can see the real problem is Louisiana, 9 to 13 feet, but Bolivar 6 to 9, 3 to 5 for the island and the Bay areas, and 2 to 4 down south towards Surfside and Freeport. There's look at the rain, and if this verifies, 10 to 12 inches is a possibility. I think 6 to 8, because it's moving 17 miles an hour, is probably more likely. So there's this big low. Look at that dry air, this big low pulling in dry air off of Mexico. That's protecting us. This high is directing this storm. So you put those together, and that's the general path of the system. This is the visible satellite that you only get when the sun is out, because it's literally what the satellite is seeing. I'm going to go in here a little tighter, and you can see the eye. And I've drawn this arrow because if you just follow the way the center of this storm is going, it's moving northwest. There's not this hard west-northwest motion to it right now. If it keeps on that path, then it's going to be more in central Louisiana once it's all said and done. And the eye, by the way, you notice it gets covered up. It's pulling in a lot of dry air, so it's having a little bit of a struggle really getting together. Now look where that arrow points. This is leftover Marco, this low pressure system right here. Now, lows follow lows, and I think that's the reason that that system is trying to move in that direction. Nonetheless, this whole area across Louisiana and Mississippi with all this rising air, that's low pressure causing these showers and thunderstorms. So that's the general direction this system is going to want to go. You can see the American model takes it right toward, and that's going to be new. I'll have that at the top of the hour at 6. That has it towards Sabine Pass. The European model also has it toward Sabine Pass. And then the RPM that we look at also has it toward Sabine Pass. So all of these models that we use are all, for now, right in the same place, and that's Sabine Pass, making a landfall in the early morning hours on Thursday. Here's a look at your forecast. Not much to say except they're watching the storm, but it looks like for the weekend, 96 with a 30% chance for showers. We'll be right back.